Both these sides have jammed so much in across the last 11 days. We do it one final time. Wallabies v France. Lolesio down towards the 22, taken by Gelange. He carries back past, and now Kuyu steps in, looking for the exit. Kuyu going high, Banks coming through, looking for the take, can't hang on. Kuyu sweeps in and snaps it up away for Jaminet, looking to get to the outside of Hooper. Dauguni reels out of that tackle. Great start here from the visitors. Voleta. Kuyu, Gelange, away for Tau Fifanua. Good ball placement, nice and quick for Kuyu. Astoi over to Jaminet, in behind, and we'll have an Aussie line out, Tim Horan.
Yeah, great start from the French, wasn't it? Very clinical. Filipo Dauguni, as you mentioned, Sean, reeled out of that tackle. A drop ball from Tom Banks at 15. You like to try and take the first high ball, but Baptiste Couliel at number 9 just running the show at the moment for the French.
They did well, France, to capitalise on the Tom Banks error. Turnover going to Whitton. Jaminet showed good pace down the left-hand side. Wallabies physio Kieran Cleary checking out Filipo Dauguni's right wrist. He's going to attempt to continue for the moment. Dr. Sharon Flahove having a quick look as well.
Feel good? Michael, feel good?
Well, this is not something the Wallabies will be looking for. Koroibete Tuesday night as well had a couple of knocks. I was actually a little bit surprised that he backed up for this game.
Boys, he's no good. He's going to leave the field. He came in quickly to try and make a tackle on Jaminet, and his right wrist has hit the knee of Melvin Jaminet, and after 30 seconds he's going to leave the field, and Reece Hodge will come on. Hasn't played since April, Reece Hodge. So disappointing for Filipo Dauguni, but Reece Hodge gets an opportunity on the right wing.
Oh, and he's a good player, Tim, isn't he? He's versatile. I wouldn't say he's an out-and-out winger, obviously, so it's a big challenge ahead. That's a lot of time for him to get in and play in an unfamiliar position.
Paenga-Amosa's first line-out throw of the night is good. Now sets up the tail. Hooper doing the hard work in front. McDermott pops in and he'll look downfield. He'll go by the box. It's shallow. Just clears halfway, and good take from Toomua. First time we've seen him this series. Gelange, we've seen a lot of that man. Another carry for the captain. Kuyu. Vincent. Nice charge, Vincent, not held. Jaminet. Popping in behind for Toomua. Swinton tidies. Hodge straight into it. He helps secure the possession for Australia. The work from France is good over the ball, though. They've turned it. Kuyu. Voleta. Swain. Strong tackle right in front of the uprights. France looking for first points. Ballon bounces out of Salakaia-loto. They started fast in tests 1 and 2. Kuyu playing with a penalty advantage here, offside Australia. And it is a gimme 3 from right in front.
Oh, that's a great rip from Noah Lolesio, though. That certainly is not going to become part of any front rower's highlights package. But Australia really under the pump, Morgs. The French, we know they exit really well, particularly at the start of the game, but they've surged ahead quite impressively.
Yeah, they certainly have. James Slipper
just on the 5, please, mate.
affects the turnover at breakdown, ends up with the ball, but then on the ground must release. And the France are able to maintain possession. And then this strip needed to be made because numbers to left for France. It's probably a 5 or 7 pointer on offer. They'll have to be happy with the 3 points, but good work by James Slipper in the middle of the park. Jaminet now with the opportunity to put France in front.
Set a French point-scoring record against the Wallabies, of course, on Tuesday night.
No issues with this one either. Through it goes, and France are up by 3.
Sitting here on the sideline with former Wallaby captain James Hall. James, what have you made of the start?
Yeah, France have looked very sharp early on. They're working the short sides well, so it'll be interesting to see how the Wallabies try and get the ball back off this kickoff.
Lolesio. That same bit of real estate. Oh, Marika Koroibete with a huge shot on Geelonge. There's a statement from Marika.
Injury, time off.
Well, what a huge hit, and he's been impressive. Geelonge, the whole series, really showed that 8 is probably his best position, but the timing of Koroibete there with the hit.
Just looks like a good shot from Marika. To my eye, contact shoulder on shoulder. The way Geelonge reels out, I think TMO's having a quick check on the run while he's being looked at, but that's just a good shot for mine, and exactly what this Wallabies team needed. Been playing catch-up since the beginning.
Space, guys, Michael.
Yeah, the restart was a little bit short in the kickoff, and Marika made the space. So the TMO will have a look to see whether there's any contact at all from Marika's right shoulder.
We should clarify for those new to Channel 9's coverage of Test match rugby, Marika Koroibete is the way it used to go. Now Marika, on his own say-so, wants the surname pronounced with that Fijian touch, Andrew Mertens, and thusly it is Marika
Koroibete. You can drag that rolled R out as long as possible. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. And, you know, for a long time, I guess Pacifica players, particularly in Australia, have got used to just how it's been most simply pronounced. Matt Toomua similarly. So it's just about making an effort and respecting that heritage. And what a hit from Marika Koroibete here.
So just keep running through that. I'll need you to confirm whether contact has been.
Morgs, I reckon Geelonge is tucked down into that. I don't think
Just keep
target or the contact point was ever higher than the shoulder.
Yeah, that last angle we saw for the first time, see shoulder round the front. And everything about tackle law in rugby union is about safety of player, lowering the tackle height. If Geelonge does lower his head height here to brace for Marika coming in, and why wouldn't you?
Is it direct or on the shoulder?
just his shoulder make any contact with Geelonge's head. It's shoulder and a shoulder, is it not?
That was my feeling. And absolutely, we've got to prioritise safety. But
and then freeze it at the point of contact.
Let's see it in real time.
It's the other angle that showed shoulder and shoulder. Surely.
It looks like it bounces up. Looks like initial of the angle that Marika comes in. Looks like initial his shoulder, and then around the other side of his right shoulder. He's possibly up around collarbone, possibly neck, which we're not going to see. But he does get jolted. It is high force.
I shouldn't say real time. I should say, sorry, normal speed. If you watch that at normal speed, Geelonge, as he takes the ball, then tucks his head down. I just don't know how we can legislate to cater for that. Otherwise, we'll get players ducking their heads into every point of contact.
Can we mitigate that drop? Yep. And the contact's over the shoulder, right?
Onto the chin.
So what do you think?
I think it's real. I don't see a significant drop.
We're back on you now, Ben.
Okay, so you're saying we've got direct contact to the head. He comes from distance. There is no significant drop, so we're all at red card. So number 11 goal.
This is wrong. This is wrong.
Michael. Bring your 11. So we've got the facts. So it is foul play. It's above the shoulder. There's direct contact with the head and the neck. There's no mitigation. The player doesn't, there's no significant drop. and your player runs from distance with force, so there's high danger in that. Okay, so it's a red card.
There's no mitigation. He's actually bending. So now does he have to go off the HIA? Because he's held his head. That's a HIA direct to the head.
So Michael, they've got their medics. They've got their medics, and I'm going to leave it up to them. Yeah. So HIA. No, your medic.
Marika is gone for the night.
Okay.
Crowd's going berserk here, boys, and I'm all for the welfare of players in the game of rugby union, but that's a really poor call from the officials and Ben O'Keefe.
Ready? Come on.
Tim, I'll go further, and from an objective viewpoint, even though I'm living in Australia, that's an absolute travesty, and we need to hear more about this. They painted themselves into a corner by saying it was foul play and by saying there was no mitigation, and I think they're wrong on both counts.
Comments there from All Blacks legend Andrew Mertens, Tim Hoare on his sideline, Morgan Tunui up in the box, trying to make some sense of that decision. Barlaw picked off at the front. McDermott looking for space. Slipper goes in at scrum half, and now the penalty goes against Australia. Holding on the call.
On the ball and body, holding on.
Important period here for the Wallabies, just to calm down on the back of that red card to Marika Koroibete. Discipline can't go out the window. Back to basics. Good defensive line out here. Low chop tackle focus. Pressure at the breakdown.
Keep coming down. Keep that space going.
Barlaw to the back, over the top it goes for Kuyu. Looking to capitalise immediately. They go in close, penalty France.
No clear release. Wait. 7, no clear release. Made the tackle, no clear release.
Good call from O'Keefe as the French surge towards the line. No pun intended. Just things falling the way of the men in blue at the moment. Australia without both their Fijian flyers now. And the French with their tails up fully.
On the line, on the line.
In steps Barlaw. He goes to last week's man of the match, Walkie.
That's one!
Australia looking to disrupt. Salakaia-loto, strong through the middle. Barlaw out the back. Kuyu towards McDermott, over the top and on the board.
Well, the wind is fully in the sails of this French yacht at the moment, while the Australian boat is listing, and they really need to get themselves up. You can understand why they're deflated, but the French are rampant. A good line-out win. The assumption is they'll try and roll it the whole way, but the presence of mind of Kuyu, once it gets going forward, make while the going's good. The ball bobbled out, and good strength to go over the top of McDermott.
And Kuyu does well. Brendan Paenga-Amosa was defending the blind side, but had to go into the maul on that left. Kuyu one-on-one with his opposite number, Tate McDermott, and he gets over the top of him for the score.
You put that down to the French forward pack, working forward. Cameron Walkie as well, number 7, and then all of a sudden the halfback scoots to the right. Tate McDermott on the back foot, couldn't hold him up. Crowd looking for something from the referee. Forearm into the face of Tate McDermott.
The conversion is good. And they do it again, France. They open up a handy early lead.
James Hall, as former Wallaby skipper, what do you do when you lose a player red carded?
I think the Wallabies just need to get their hands on the ball. You need to forget about it. You can't change it now. You just need to move on, maybe kick a little bit more, which I think the Wallabies needed to do anyway after last test. So big challenge ahead of them.
charge down in a touch. France will have a line-out throw.
I guess the encouraging aspect, whenever you're playing the French, you know it's so unpredictable, anything can happen. So equally, while their tails are up at the moment, you still know there's a long way to go in this game, and it can turn around quickly for the Gallic players.
Picked off this time. Salakaia-loto pulls it in now. Walkie through on a Swinton. Masarani has to add his weight. McDermott goes low. Paisami. Going to free it up out wide here. Lolesio. Ikitau. Swing it quick. Banks in behind for Hodge. And again, France will have line out.
And this is a big opportunity for Hunter Paisami on his home ground to really grab this game as well.
Oh, God, wait, no, you're off. Wait. Blue, wait.
Thanks for the take. And a couple of really decent line breaks last week. Put down that time round by Ballon. Penalty advantage now for Australia. France off their feet. Hooper! It's a lovely line from the captain. Looking for McDermott! Here we go!
Well, when the chips are down, who do you need to respond? And it's your captain. Was there any doubt? Michael Hooper, what a sublime angle that he took that ball on from Lolesio. Swain just tipping it back here, and there he comes from outside in. A good step off the left, and Tate McDermott, like a good number 9, looming up in support. Clinical from the Australians. Just that little inside ball, great timing from Tate McDermott, and the crowd will be excited there. They're going to try and bring these Wallabies home, Tim, I'm sure.
Oh, what a ball from Lolesio. That was the pill, went outside. Hooper, good vision. He heard the call from Tate McDermott on his right shoulder. Gets the Wallabies back in the match, and the Wallaby coaching staff a bit happier now. The crowd went up as one.
Lolesio nails another 2 on the board.
Patience from the Wallabies. Nice little grubber kick through from Tom Banks to get the ball in the corner to force France with a 5-metre line out from their own line. Wallabies just got to be patient, control possession.
Salakaia-loto, after that excellent line-out seal, pulls in the restart.
Use it!
Swinton. Good ball back for McDermott.
Okay, use it! No.
Shallow, the chase is good. So's the take though from Jaminet. Swain trying to hold him up. Vincent tearing it away. He meets Paenga-Amosa. Makes the steal and then gets penalised.
Yeah, and a fair call from Ben O'Keefe there too. He had a second bite at the cherry. Brandon Paenga-Amosa. He got contacted just after the tackle, which means it's a ruck. You can no longer use your hands. And just that second attempt. Got in great position, but he did get taken out by the French cleaner.
Shot.
And the French, as they've done all series, happy to take 3 points anytime they get a penalty in their attacking half.
He was spot on last week, wasn't he, Melvin Jaminet? And there's the French coach, Fabien Gartier. 64 test matches for France, and James Hall. Momentum's with the French at the moment. The Wallabies just need to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, exactly, Tim. I think they're pretty pumped up. They feel a bit aggrieved after that, the red card. So that you can see when they scored that try, there was a lot of aggression there. They just need to calm down, get back into their sets, build patient, and anytime they get the ball, they're looking dangerous. So they just need to hold on to the ball.
Melvin Jaminet. It's been ice cold all series long from the tee. Very little deviation with his kicks. It's gun, barrel, straight again.
Oh, he's been deadly. He's just got that beautiful little fade. Slightly unorthodox, the flight of his ball, but my word, he does not miss, and he has not missed.
Again, Lolesio plugs that same bit of real estate. Tackle's good from Ikitau. Kafifanua. Caught by Paenga-Amosa and Swain.
Inside.
Kuyu chasing the safety of the touch, and he'll collect it. 35 out.
Well, I'm alongside two midfielders. I mentioned Hunter Paisami before, Morgs. What are you looking for from Paisami? Because he could have this match a little bit in his control, couldn't he?
Yeah, we have some balance is what we need from Paisami. Some carry and distribution out wide.
Lolesio, flat for his Brumbies teammate, Ikitau. McDermott holding up for Swinton. Good burst from the line side flanker. Slipper. Put low by Forletta. McDermott. Nice Serrani, can't hang on.
Over.
Kuyu gets plenty on. Nobody back. Australia will want this to pop into the in goal. Or won't do that. And Banks, he's rushed into the kick.
Yep, all good.
Big game for France.
Yeah, resilient defence from France, and just a shame Lockie Swinton was lurking behind McDermott. It was nice Serrano who got the ball, but a little bit
Thank you.
earlier, and maybe that shorter pass to Swinton coming late could be an opportunity going forward for the Wallabies. There's Paisami there. He's chucked the ball up twice, but we know he's got crazy feet, and there might be some gaps wider as well.
We'll give that a little straight. And we'll have a scrum. France are up by 6.
The important time here for the Wallabies. It is the obvious game, mentioning it, but pressure at every moment they can within this game. Set piece is a good opportunity, put pressure on at line out time when scrum time comes as well.
Scrum's over here on the 15.
Launch comes back in off his HIA. Good to go.
Good scrum, good space. Space. Yep. Good stability.
And a little cameo there from Alexandre Béconnier, the Montpellier forward. It's his test debut. Only got on there initially for HIA with Gelanche. Hopefully we'll see him come on properly for a prop debut later in the game.
Fine! No. Sit. Guys, we must wait, okay? Attends pour le set. C'est simple. Attends pour le set, okay?
Clearly a man down. It's a lot more onerous, a lot more tiring. The fatigue sets in. However, with adrenaline, I wonder whether just in some situations it alleviates a little bit of pressure. Australia now, with one man short, have nothing to lose really and everything to gain. Everyone expects them to lose now, down to 14 men for this long.
Yeah, trailing as well, 6 points behind. Lot rests on the shoulders of that man, Noah Lolesio, to stand up and direct his team around the park. Talked about efficiency in the Wallabies play. At 14 men, Mertz, that's even more important now.
Fine! 6!
Good weight from Australia. They're patient at the back, and there's a penalty.
3 and the angle.
That'll help with the exit, Tim Horan.
Yeah, great opportunity for the Wallabies to get out of their half now. James Hall with me. Great scrum from the Wallabies.
Yeah, fantastic scrum. James Slipper did some great work on the French tight head there, and some work to get around, and a real, pressure easing penalty there from the Wallabies. They've got the wood over the French at the set piece now. The French are really struggling with their line out as well.
So much experience for the Wallabies. James Slip-Up, 104th Test match for the Wallabies. You see him #1 on the left-hand side of the scrum for the Wallabies.
Well, obviously the forward pack not affected by the red card in the backs. So the first time in this series, France has gone with a 5-forward split rather than 6. So a chance for the Wallabies forward pack to put the acid on.
Salakaia-loto can't hang on. Kuyu gets it away in contact. Allan. Good sting from Swinton. Lolesio, Reece intercept. He's away. Noah points to the spot. And Australia are right back in the fight.
Oh, the fingertip control from Noah Lolesio. That is an important score. He knew it in the context of the scoreboard, and also in that movement. They had plenty of numbers, the French. Fingertip control. He got his mitts to it, and it stuck, and he's made it count. Noah Lolesio.
He certainly has. He really goes for it there, doesn't he? There are numbers everywhere in blue jerseys. He picks the one line, the one avenue to the try line, and the Wallabies strike back again.
What a moment for the Wallabies to be able to pick that up. Noah Lolesio straight through, intercept, and Woney's Canberra club, the Tuggeranong Vikings, go up in the clubhouse, gets the Wallabies back into this match.
Huge play from Noah Lolesio. He won the game for them, rather, back in Test match 1 with a late penalty goal. And here he is with a chance to put his side in front by 1. Without Marika Koroibete, who was red carded for foul play. Lolesio, through she goes. And coming up really quick, we have got the Rugby World Cup beginning August 7. Don't forget, extended coverage on Stan Sport, stan.com.au/sport, to see all the ins, all the outs through the week as well. Extended coverage, the only place you'll get it is on Stan Sport. Australia here through Ikitau, past the 22. McDermott up for Swinton. He's been good early on. Naisarani settles one close to the ruck.
Okay, use it!
We'll see who charge down. Hooper will get back and tidy up. Key covering there from Hooper.
Use it!
McDermott will do it himself this time round and does a decent enough job of it as well. Astoy wants to go quick across for Jaminet. Sees Naisarani, tries to get around him. Met in the end by Paisami, who gets up and goes again. Good repeat tackles from Paisami. Extra roll on the ground there against Forletta, and Australia win the penalty.
And a much-needed penalty it was too for the Wallabies. Jaminet one-on-one, nearly got around Naisarani. But Paisami closes from the outside. That hit needs to be made. And then off the side, Forletta. That extra roll there on the ground when the Wallabies have a presence above him. That's a clear picture to the referee of an infringement and a pressure-relieving penalty for the Wallabies. And Tom Banks is able to take the ball down into the French half.
Points important. Every time the Wallabies get down this end, they got a bonus before. Let's see if they construct something.
Hooper Paenga-Amosa was looking for Hodge, went himself. Now it's loose and wild out the back, just like this entire opening quarter. High tackle the call. Swain in tight, steals a couple of metres. McDermott, Paisami, cuts across the line, happy to go front on there with Valetini. And almost shifts him as well. Swinton. Still the penalty advantage here.
Still got a penalty advantage.
Can hear that from Ben O'Keefe. Hooper for McDermott, dummies back to the captain. Barlow called out of it. Alaalatoa has to head in at the base of the ruck and just collapses 1 metre past. After all that, Ben O'Keefe comes back to the mark.
Michael, you've got the option of two. There's one here. There's a high tackle. It's been checked. It's just a penalty, not like before. Or there's offside out here. Which one would you like?
Yeah, good call from Michael Hooper. 3 points.
Oh, sorry, Michael.
Every time they get up
Michael,
there.
it's on the 22. It doesn't change. Doesn't change? Yeah.
That has to be their objective. Minimum 3 points as we see Ikitau coming back into the heavy traffic here. And the head-high tackle from Jelonge.
Well, even that's only just a penalty. The Wallabies fans will be throwing their hands up saying another high tackle, but there's not much in that. Yes,
well, I think there's the question of whether Ikitau might have headbutted poor old Jelonge's forearm.
He's in the wars, Jelonge, isn't he?
Oh, Ikitau's got to go.
More important than that, the way this...
No, I checked it as well. I took my time to check that. So I'm just going to say here if you want to
There's like 37,000 people here who think differently, though.
I know.
Well, Hoops at least can crack a joke. That's what you want from composure from your skipper. But what will be important for the Wallabies now, especially was highlighted in that attacking sequence, was that attacking breakdown. They need fast ball and clean ball. They need to bring the referee into the game if they can't do it themselves.
Lolesio. Right in the middle of the park. Looking to stay perfect from the tee. Does just that. Australia extend their lead.
There it is, 3 points. Again, thanks to a head-high tackle here from Anthony Jelonge. Not a lot of malice in it, but worth the 3.
Astoy sends it down to Salakaia-loto on the fade. Pulls in the restart. Lovely skill from Lukhan. Masarani hangs on to it this time.
Okay, use it! Winger, you're on!
McDermott squeezes it away. Jamine up high. He's so good at the back. And now Australia look to hang on. Swain strong in the middle. We're going to collapse them all. Will it come back for France? Nope. Stuck in there, but off a kick.
The ball
can go down. It will be a French feed, not Australian. Australia up by 4.
The ball's direct from the kick. Blue ball.
Yeah, they really needed to rip that ball. The Wallabies. Paenga-Amosa might have had a little chance at the end there. It's a great take. AFL style above his head. Clean in the hands. He's had a great series, Melvin Jaminet, after a great season as well, with Perpignan getting promoted. And there it was there. Perhaps the Wallabies thought that collapsing it was enough to get the put into the scrum.
So we'll have the French feed after opening with a real bang. The French now find themselves trailing by 4.
Crouch!
Despite Australia being reduced to 14 men early in the contest, with Marika Koroibete sent from the field for foul play.
Koroibete just shooting a quick glance across to Toomua out there on his left wing.
Need to sit, be stable.
Reece Hodge is certainly no poor defender, but when you're a winger and you've got perhaps a utility back up against you, you certainly want a chance. And let's forget that on the other side, the Wallabies are short one back as well, so got a lot of ground to cover. Toomaua's still out there on that sideline there. His teammates seem to be concocting something out in the open, though.
Fine. 6.
Penalty Australia.
Knee on the ground. Knee on the ground.
And if anything, this red card that Australia have copped seems to have steeled them. It seems to have raised them through this contest, Morgan Turinui.
Yeah, sometimes it's as basic as the fact you just get angry. You're just unhappy. You feel like it's owed to you, and you go out and you work harder and harder. It took about 90 seconds to calm down afterwards, and it cost them points, the Wallabies. But they're happy every time there's a scrum called at the moment. Technically very happy, front row and front row. That man, Marika Koroibete, as a player, such a loss, been such an influential player right throughout his stint in that gold jersey, but especially in this French Test series.
And there's no doubt that's the best method when you're down a back, is to cut off the supply line. I'm sure James Orwell will have appreciated that last scrum from the Wallabies.
Paenga-Amosa comes to the front, Swinton pulls it down. Walkie over the top, looking to extend his long arms through and unsettle, but Paenga-Amosa has it trapped well at the back, and they'll edge it forward here, Australia. Shorter back, happy to let the forwards do it for the moment. McDermott comes away with Paisami. He's really gone up a level. Paenga-Amosa coming around the corner towards the uprights. They fold again, this time it's Alaalatoa. Just shortening the point of attack. Naisarani runs into the 135-kilo frame that is Tau Fifanua. Alaalatoa. 6 phases here for Australia. Swinton, good ball placement. Back foot, Paisami happy to go over the top. He pulled the trigger. Just asked a little too much of Hodge out wide.
It seemed perhaps there wasn't a lot of communication. I don't think Reece Hodge was aware to that option. Good go forward before, though, Hunter Paisami. I'd love to see the Wallabies forwards assume that he's going to go forward and hit that ball flat off McDermott, because they were just a little deep. As we see that pass there are opportunities wide. They're just going to have to be a bit more patient than that, the Wallabies.
Can the Wallabies put some pressure on here? Walkie at the front. Very nearly snap it away. Rush back. And now cleared by Les Bleus. Up towards halfway, and Hodge is happy just to take the line out.
Okay, Blue, cease, sit. Here, here, here.
Paenga-Amosa to the back this time. Swain down for McDermott. Paisami, Naisarani takes that one late, gets them up over the advantage line. McDermott is posing some questions in tight. Now dragged into the ruck. Squirts out the back, and Ben O'Keefe has found a knock-on. We'll have a scrum. It's France's ball. They are down by 4.
I'm definitely on me, sorry. I'll get one. Yeah, sorry.
Really important conversation there between Michael Hooper and referee Ben O'Keefe. Tate knocks that one of his own volition. No blue jerseys to blame there. But the conversation was just happening there after that knock-on was called about French players rolling north-south instead of east-west. And that means rolling back towards Tate McDermott generally, as opposed to the side where they're obliged to do. If the Wallabies can get a result, that'll be good.
Hope you're enjoying our coverage from Suncorp Stadium, where Australia found themselves down by 10 early on. They lost a man, now have put themselves in front. And don't forget, the British and Irish Lions up against the Springboks next week. They've got a taste of what that series is going to bring through the week, with South Africa A getting past the British and Irish Lions. The only place, Stan Sport, to catch that entire series. Stan.com.au/sport to get your eyes on. Jaminet. Up towards Banks. Hodge. Wants that one to check. It does so. It's just over-chewed 3 or 4 centimetres and will come back for the French line out.
Yeah, nerves of steel from Antoine Astoy as the ball just wafted across the line out on the full. Might have landed smack on the line, but upshot is the French now. Good attacking line-out opportunity.
Allan under pressure. Kuyu, Vincent sends it out the back this time round. Paisami can't get there. Jaminet chimes in. Jaminet infield for Kuyu, chasing his second. Challenge put down right in front of the poles. Desperate Australian defence. Azugo. Penalty advantage here. Michael Hooper was offside. Kuyu. Jaminet. Jammed by Naisarani. Still with the penalty advantage though, France. Walkie.
We've still got the penalty advantage.
What can they create with here? Les Bleus. Challenge. Swinton rushes up and
Michael,
drops him.
There's a penalty back there for holding back, but a new one for you here. No.
Kuyu going quick. That won't check out.
Where's the mark, guys? Offside for 7.
Didn't have the mark,
sorry.
and
you pulled him back there, and then you're offside here.
Michael
Penalty's
Hooper
here.
is the man who gets
Offside.
pinged.
Number 7. So, here's the mark.
This will be an interesting decision from the French.
Yeah, time off.
They've got so much traction
Time
from increments of 3, the penalties, but right under the posts, wanting to wrest back the initiative, and 4 points down. Will they back themselves to set the scrum and put 7 backs on 6? Tate McDermott just going underneath his opposite, Kuyu, to make what was almost certainly a try-saving tackle. Saw the back spread it wide, a couple of screen balls, and then just outside of Hunter Paisami, there was the hold back from Hooper. There's the tackle from Tate McDermott. And one little early tip on from Kuyu to his captain, Jalonche, might have seen a try scored.
The French there with penalty advantage. Whack away and whack away, but eventually they're coming back for a tap here in front of the posts. Real departure tactically for the French from what they've done previously.
Penalty, offside.
There's a free 3 in front from the boot. They don't want it. They give it to their 3. Valetini.
Okay, on the line.
Walkie at the back. Walkie over the top. Oh my! He's a giant, and he puts his team back in front.
Cameron Walkie had an absolutely outstanding match on Tuesday night, and the athleticism, the physique of this man, and the speed with which he pounced on that opportunity. The flying wedge led by Valetini got close, and Walkie gets airborne. Over he goes, the acceleration, and planting it down with those long arms.
He's looking for space, but he just goes over the top. There's no space there, but over the top he goes and reaches out, power through the legs, and slams it down for his team.
He's been impressive. He deserves that. Absolutely. Cameron Walkie, it's been a massive week for him.
Undoubtedly the man of the match earlier in the
Tuesday
week.
night for sure.
It was huge.
Jaminet puts the extra 2, and the French back up by 3 points. The decision to go for the try vindicated. Here's the finish of it there. Bam, down it goes.
Saw him come through that successful French under-20s outfit in 2018. Of course, they doubled up with another World Championship a year on, putting away Australia. So many of the players from both those sides doing their thing tonight at Suncorp. France back in front by 3. It's a first half that has had everything, baguettes included. Again, looking to work over Challenge. Hodge this time. Kuyu. Kalfi Whenua. Met by Alaalatoa.
There's the ball. There's the ball.
Slow at the back, and now Falatea goes in and helps lock it up for Kuyu. Kuyu asking for some coverage up front from Walkie. Now he sends it just past the 22. Good field position here for Australia.
Another chance here for the Wallabies. Important time, 2 minutes before the half-time break, and they'll need that break. But here's a 2-minute opportunity to stay camped down this end of the field and strike something into the heart of the French defence.
Over the back, Swain, McDermott, Lolesio, Ikitau. Brave back against traffic. Good clean out there from Hooper and Alaalatoa. Naisarani. McDermott floats it wide, long for Banks. He gets sent back. Swinton. There's one bloke you want when it gets spicy in the middle, it is he, Lockie Swinton. Swain offloads well in contact, then to Alaalatoa. Vincent looked to have lost it forward there. It's play on for Jaminet. Jaminet, grubbers well. The chase is good for Toomua. Toomua gets the bounce as well. Fronts are in, but will need sign-off from upstairs.
And they won't get it, but that doesn't detract from the exceptional pace. The exceptional pace from Tate Toomua, but they'll go back for the knock-on.
Glenn, on-field decisions try.
All the way down the other end.
By, goal. We want to make sure there's not a clear knock-on by Blue in the lead-up as well.
Yeah.
Gee, was quick, Tate Toomua. Sort of comes off Vincent here, forward, and it does, and it does. It'll be a Wallaby scrum feed, yeah.
How many times could he have knocked it on?
Certainly no more than he did. There's a little bit of pinball going on there. Bouncing all over the show. It was a great spectacle seeing Tate Toomua stretch those legs out. Ultimately, it's going to come back.
It'll be a warning, too, for the Wallabies to be aware.
There's two knock-ons. The first one by France.
So no try. We've got a knock-on. We're going to go back for goal ball.
It'll be an Australian feed inside the French 22.
Yes. And we got there eventually. McDermott been getting out and challenging second defender. The first one he drops inside to Darcy Swain. There is yards there. And that clear knock-on. But Tate Toomua, he makes ground down the left-hand flank. Jaminet kicks it ahead. That's a man to watch in the second half. They might like their chances against Reece Hodge there on that side of the field.
So just a minute 10 to play in this crazy first half from Suncorp. This is the series decider between the Wallabies and France.
Good finds.
The Wallabies down to 14 men from the 5th minute onwards. Marika Koroibete sent off for foul play.
Stand up.
Guys, we must get the stability on the set right. Okay? Stability on the set. Stability on the set. To come on. Wait. Stability. Okay. Guys, the weight behind. Hold, okay? Hold.
Where are you going here, Morgan Turinui? Are you letting the forwards try and juice a penalty, or are you having a crack through the backs?
You get one straight crack as a Wallaby forward pack to get penalty advantage. It's such a great hard-to-punt advantage to be able to attack with that safety for penalty advantage. Ikitau back against the grain, nice and flat into the teeth of the 10 channel is a good play here for the Wallabies.
The men up front get a chance to do it first.
Okay, use it.
No shifting, so McDermott sends it out for Hodge at first receiver, in off his wing. There's a halftime siren. Salakaia-loto. Wasn't expecting, but did a good job after receiving. Slipper. McDermott over for Alaalatoa. Just angles across the line there. They love some points here, Australia. They're down 10-0 early. Swain, he's been excellent. France commit no one to the breakdown. They just fan the defensive line.
No.
Can the green and gold find a way through? Nice Sarani, good defence on him from Barlow. In goes Zago. Hooper plays scrum half for Swinton. Kalfi-Fanua up top, stops him. Hooper in tight, back from McDermott, look for him second. One away.
Advantage 13 in.
Penalty advantage here too. Swinton at the line, short. McDermott desperate for it. He looks wide. Lolesio floats it over the top. That wasn't the ball. Hodge loses it. And will come back for the penalty right in front.
Yeah, numbers there, 4 on 3 for the Wallabies backs, but with the French defence spread out, maybe punching into the holes was a better option, easy in hindsight. There was a big Hail Mary there from Lolesio, and she wasn't listening. Debate again in this position, penalty right under the post, a great run from Michael Hooper. It almost looked like 2 tries for the Hooper-McDermott combination.
There's one right here on the 5, there's also one on the 15.
Just slowed up long enough. Okay. One more phase. Swinton also going agonisingly close. And when it came out 4 on 3, throwing those big balls, cutting out 2 players, reasonably rarely come off unless the defence has committed fully from the outside, Morgan, as they've decided to go for 3.
Yeah, and it's also a different equation for the Wallabies being without one of their backs. So often Lolesio will see pictures that he thinks will be numerical advantages, but they aren't there this evening.
Lolesio knocks them through. Can you believe it? After 200 minutes of the series, they still can't be split. It's 2020, Australia v France at halftime. Of Australia v France, they still can't be split. It is 2020 at Suncorp Stadium. Great to have you with us on Channel 9 and Stan Sport as well, wherever you are dialed in around the world. It has been a crazy first 40 we've just put in the rear-view mirror. There's your score. It's a series that has delivered excitement every step of the way. It will be a story to get us moving once more. The winner will lift the trophy de Bisonte. Sean Maloney, Andrew Mertens, Morgan Turinui in commentary. Morgs, I think we all needed a break through that opening half.
We certainly do. But I'll tell you what, your French has come on during this test series. That's one positive, Sean. 49 all, 1 test apiece, 20 all right now. Important who starts this second half well.
Barlow with a throw over the top to Wolkes, met by Paenga-Amosa, loose over the top. Showcasing his skills there, Wolke, and then Kuyu gets eaten up by Naisarani. Gelange. Barlow, clever in tight, as he was last week as well.
Yeah, good, you picked it
the
up.
French hooker. There's Azugo. Been through the phase as well here. Valetini. This is his prop partner, Fuletta. Hooper can't roll away there. Now Australia climb in onto Kalfi-Fanua. Kuyu. Great defence from the green and gold. They shut them down there. Barlow once more. Hooper. No shifting the Australian captain. Kuyu looking for runners. Here's Jaminet looking for the droppy. Has hit it decent, but it is away to the right. Tim Horan.
22.
Australia coming up big indeed there.
Yeah, good start from the Wallabies in this second half, but also from the French forward pack. They just roll on, don't they? Strong defence from the Wallabies. The Wallabies have to have the ability to identify where the space, and I think it's around Tate McDermott. He's got to start to run himself. He's thrown a lot of forward runners in that first half around the corner, but that's the man that can break this game open.
Shallow with a restart towards Toomua, down for Falatia. Naisarani hangs on to his laces. Kuyu. He's grown with every involvement this series as well. France going out the back and now straightening through Jaminet. Paenga-Amosa, desperate tackle. Astoy. Surely forward, and that's exactly the call from the assistant ref. No change to our half-time score. Australia with a feed to the scrum.
Ball pass. Scrum goal.
It's good defence from the Australians. Going to be important this half. One man down on the backs, that they keep that link between forward and backs, and that the backs don't go flying up and leave forwards isolated and beaten by the pace of men like Damien Pernot there. They've already tried it once, the French, trying to get Jaminet on the outside.
So all the ball with France through the early part of the second term. Australia, though, with a feed to the scrum here after that forward pass from Astoy. McDermott jagged a first half try off Michael Hooper.
Allan, we're going to let him bind. You're going to bind, okay? Low and bind.
Sums up the mood, doesn't it? Morgan Turinui tense. It's been that way since that opening whistle.
We saw Dan McKellar there sitting next to Dave Rennie. It's his birthday today. He's not enjoying it too much at the moment. He needs this Wallabies forward pack. We've been good at scrum thus far to continue their hard work in this second half.
Bind!
Australia putting some pressure on. They're going straight to the penalty. They won't get it. Shorter back, so Paisami hammers it upfield to one of the French danger men. Jaminet with a late switch for Toomua. That one juggled by Kuyu. Still with France. Astoy. Swinton. Nice check shot there. Hooper with a turnover.
On the ball.
Massive play there from Michael Hooper. And the Wallabies at half-time have finally worked out 2.5 matches into this test series that the referees are allowing the breakdown to be absolute chaos. They put numbers in their first few defensive sets. And there Michael Hooper, is he indirectly behind? Is he just into the side? It doesn't matter because that's the way that the breakdown is being refereed. Bodies in there will get results.
Former Wallaby captain on the sideline with me, James Hall. What do you do from this line out?
I think we look to drive it here. I think we've seen some nice options from the Wallabies, playing with some peel plays around the back. I think we need to set them up first with the maul, so it'll be interesting to see what they go through here.
Great to have Wallabies legend, Big Kevy, James Horwell, sideline with two-time World Cup winner Tim Horan. Upstairs, it's Morgan Turinui and All Blacks legend Andrew Mertens watching on. Bring you comments from Suncorp, where Naisarani pulls in. The throw's got to sink it back here for Hooper. Now Paenga-Amosa. Walkie coming around the corner. Australia looking to straighten it at the front.
That's one! Same move!
Dragged forward, now splintered. Paenga-Amosa sends it back. Walkie's in there, he gets a hand on, and now France will win the penalty. After all that, it's a result for the French. No penalty, but it is a scrum.
More turnover.
And the Wallabies probably a bit lucky. They got away with conceding just a scrum here. Walkie was a real pest in there, and he waited until he got his opportunity, got over the top of Paenga-Amosa. And probably 5 times out of 10, he'd have earned a penalty there. So the Wallabies have dodged one, but need to get in and make this scrum count.
Timmy, couple of changes for the Aussies.
Oh, the crowd's gone up. Taniela Tupou, there he is, has just come onto the field. Also, Angus Bell as well. So 2 replacements in the front row. You can see James Slipper leaving the field. Alaalatoa as well. They've done their job. There's the youngster, 20-year-old Angus Bell.
You'd have to say probably not long before the French will follow suit. I wonder if they are now. But we saw the devastating effect of Dumba Bumba, who came on Tuesday night. That massive scrum from his tight head side that he helped
It's a matchup we've been looking forward to all series long. Tupou v Bumba. On opposite side to the scrum, it's more the general play, the open field carrying. If those two men collide, it'll be seismic.
Binds! Sit! Keep it up, keep it up!
Kuyu spins it short side, no one there for Australia. Toomua looking for it to stay in the field of play. He gets the bounce and now clears it for Kuyu. Astoy over the top. France looking to take it. 95 and they do. Oh, magnifique.
Yes, an iconic and exhilarating French try, taking advantage of the one-man overlap they have in the back line. They were clinical, they were precise, they were dynamic. Away goes Teddy Toomua, beautiful chip and chase, the good bounce that he got, but quick hands, it almost threatened to break down if there'd been a spot tackle, but crisp passing.
The guy down
and out goes the ball to Pierre-Louis Darcy. He hasn't seen many opportunities tonight, Morgan, but he'll be happy with that one.
Well, Mertz, it's another try from the end of the world from the French. Tactically so smart, the Wallabies had gambled by pulling Hodge all the way back because they're low on back three numbers with Koroibete in the red card. And that's where the space was. And Teddy Toomua, we saw a hint of his pace in the first half, and that set that one up.
Poor old Ikitau had to make a lot of ground there. He was corner flagging to this near side, then he had to turn and corner flag to the other.
You know what happens when that man steps to the tee? The ball goes through the sticks and France reclaim the lead.
What play, though, from the number 9 from France, Baptiste Coulou. He knew that the Wallabies were short a winger on that side. They weren't defending there. 2 touches to the scrum half, the number 9. That was an unbelievable play from France. One of the best tries you'll see this year.
Lolesio with plenty of hang time on that one. Down to Astoy, Gelange. Takes it back into the 22. Here's Kuyu.
Use it!
Gemini happy to have a run here. Vincent looking for Toomua. Nice Arani in cover. Now good over the ball as well. They get the shot on and they get the penalty, Australia. Not releasing the call against France, and it's all thanks to Isi Naisarani.
Yeah, great play from Naisarani and the French. They've started every half in this series well, and they've been accurate in the start of the second half, but it's been obvious that they're trying to capitalise on that extra man, and they've tried to move that wide. I think Gelange tried to hold that in the 22 to allow a clearance straight into touch. The backline decided to play it. There's the result. Fantastic. Naisarani tackle and up on his feet in a split second.
It's a great point you make, Mertz. The French, a hallmark of them this series has been how efficiently they've been able to exit their own 22 and relieve pressure. They almost feel obliged. Maybe it's the cloud of French flair hanging over them. But they've had a crack at running out of their own zone against this 14-man Australian team. And it's costing them a couple of times.
A lot of talk there from the youngster Darcy Swain, the 24-year-old. Only played a handful of test matches. Big opportunity for him now.
The throw's good. And now they go short side. Paenga-Amosa. Desperate from Toomua to shut down the Aussie hooker. Tupou rumbling over the line, but he can't get it to ground. Hooper at the back has Naisarani on his hammer. Hooper dummies to Paenga-Amosa. You can hear the call there. France was slowing it down. So penalty advantage here for the Aussies. Bell knocked sideways. Bumba over the top, looking for the steal. Paenga-Amosa getting closer now. New advantage. Australia so close. There it is. Under the pile of bodies. Salakaia-loto. No one short side. Goes to Swinton. Look for Tupou. There it is for Bell. He's sent back. Tupou in tight. Has he got it down?
close. And the pick and go at the end was decisive and incisive from Taniela Tupou. The speed off the mark. They'd had to reset themselves a couple of times, the Wallabies, but Tupou, that big frame. Here we saw the transfer, belted well to get this back going forward. And here it comes there. There he is. You see him from above. Away he goes. Up against three. The body's over. And O'Keefe taking a little bit of time and finally can assure us that the ball was planted.
Oh, the French put 3 men into that tackle to Taniela Tupou. Gentlemen, that's not enough. This man fresh off the bench. He makes an immediate impact. The Wallabies back in this game.
Huge noise when he came on. Tim Horan must have been an even bigger roar there where local hero went over.
Oh, we thought that Angus Bell was going to go over. Taniela Tupou, what a try.
So much more of Australia to come in the coming months on Stan Sport as well. Next up, and it's just around the corner, Wallabies v the All Blacks beginning August 7. stan.com.au/sport is where you need to head to lock into extended coverage around what should be a massive series, just like this one. And again, these two sides are locked up. Tupou, cheeky meters in close. It's 2020 at the break. Bamba in there, and now he forces the turnover for France.
Just get up. The same as the holding on down there on the ball.
Not releasing the call against Australia.
Well, he's done his bit. Dumba Bamba, not quite a try as his opposite has just scored, but equally important, perhaps, this here. A 3-point invitation for Melvin Jamina again. The immovable object. He just got over there, picked his moment. All about timing and, of course, strength and resilience to hold out against the clean out that you know is coming, and he did on that occasion.
It's amazing the work that Sean Edwards has done, the defensive coach for the French team. For 10 years he was under Warren Gatton in Wales, and they're over the ball.
Levine, Jaminet. Turning from touch. 30 out. And it's a miss. It's away to the left. He was looking for the fade. It didn't come. And it stays 27-27.
Lachie Swinton struggling in back play for the Wallabies. Number 6 looks like he's going to come off the field now. Rob Valetini coming on for him in number 20. So that's the end of the night for Lachie Swinton, his second test match. The first test match here, he got red carded. This one, huge effort.
Yeah, good channeled aggression tonight from Swinton, wasn't it? And he was in trouble right on the line just before.
Hooper goes through and puts down Vincent Ballon. Away for Kuyu. Gastoy looking in behind, and that one will trickle to touch.
Important here in the battle of both tents, how they manage where their team plays, which end of the field they are. Gastoy there, just keeping France up this end of the field. Wallabies under pressure.
McDermott inviting France to come up and have a crack at him. Nice Irani for Hooper. Good angle here for Australia to work with if they can clear Bamba. Healthy for Nua. There's Bamba.
Can't use it!
McDermott sneaks it away. Toomua, who had a huge hand in that try earlier for France. Great work from Hodge. Over the top he goes. McDermott looking to swing that turnover ball into points nice and quick. Paisami straightens. Here's Ikitau. Ikitau looking to Banks, taking his opposite with him. McDermott, it's good and fast for Australia. Bell. Lolesio, nice Irani. Round the corner comes Paisami, Paenga-Amosa. Forwards playing his backs. They're missing the two starting wingers are the Wallabies. No Koroibete. Dauguni injured after 30 seconds. McDermott digging for it. Hodge, dependable as ever, towards the 22. He goes. McDermott now for Swain. Swain holds onto it. Met well by Barlow. Good clean out from Bell. Had to be made. Lolesio at the back for Paisami. Challenge over the top. He gets good shape over it. But we've got a penalty here for Australia.
Blue, offside.
Azaga offside, and it's right in the middle of the park.
Yes, and Australia in this position, thanks to the efforts of Reece Hodge. What a fantastic piece of play that was. The chase on the box kick. He waited till Toomua had hit the ground. The tackle, driving him back on his feet straight away. Claims the ball before the ruck had been formed. And Swain, he's carried well. Got a little more traction in that first half. He's been crumpled the last couple of times, but that's needed as much as anything else to bring in the defenders and set up that next phase of play.
What's been great to see, guys, is that the Wallabies have adapted in this third test match. The first two test matches, the Wallabies played a lot of ball out the back, behind dummy runners, went out the back. And the French loved that. They snapped it up, moved up in defence tonight. Hardly a ball's gone out the back. It's just been first phase play, players trying to get across the advantage line to lay a platform.
Lolesio. He too has been supreme from the tee these last 11 days. So put Australia back in front. Tugs at it. That's a miss. The nerves hitting the super boots of Jaminet and Lolesio.
Yes, both kickers uncharacteristic misses, both to the left of the posts. Australia still at the right end of the field. They'll still be encouraged by having got up there and having a crack at the three.
Deep with a restart from Astoy. Hodge. Field position. Smart from Australia. Just short of the 22. Good weight on it. That one falls for Toomua. Lucky to be behind the man, but now he's sent towards touch. He's in a touch. Australia's hustle brings the scrum feed.
Guys, just watch here. The ball actually hits the spider cam wire, so they're actually talking to Ben O'Keefe, the referee, the French players, to try and have that scrum go back, but it's play on.
Couldn't see if it touched that. No, not sure.
Another great chase from Reece Hodge. Thought he might have earned himself a penalty there too. Looked like Kuyu obstructing him just before that ball came down.
(27-27) the score at Suncorp. They've got a quarter of the game to go. Let's look at some of the stats we've rolled out. The handling errors way down on the first two games, showing the polish here in game three, the decider. Australia playing with 14 men. They've done so since the 5th minute. With Marika, Koroibete red carded.
Don't pull!
McDermott. Penalty advantage here from the scrum for Australia. Lolesio takes Kuyu with him. Nice Irani, he's been everywhere tonight. Not held, so Upton goes again. Hooper has a look. Leaves it there. Lolesio. Ikitau. Hodge. Quick to Paenga-Amosa. Settles just inside the 22. Hooper. Huge involvements again tonight from the captain. Lolesio flat for Valetini. Walkie looking to upset the flow. Lolesio runs at big bodies and then pops beautifully for McDermott. Valetini coming round to the short side. 135-kilo lock. Alfifranua meets him, but we are coming back for the penalty to the home side.
Continual probing from McDermott and from Lolesio as well. They don't want to kick the ball away too often, Morgs, but there might be an opportunity for a little grubber kick out wide. That French backline defence is coming up very rapidly.
That's the catch-22, isn't it, Mertz? At 14 men, at some stage you start to run out of numbers at breakdown. Really hard to change direction in attack. Much better going the same way around the corner of the Wallabies and keeping pace on the ball. Everything is about pace on the ball and speed to breakdown and getting the ball out of there. And then being judicious with those small attacking kicks when there are point-scoring opportunities, Mertz.
Well, good decision, sorry, Mertz. I should say, good decision from Michael Hooper, the skipper. Would have been a long range and a wide kick for Noah Lolesio. As Dave Rennie, the coach, looks on with Dan McKellar, assistant forwards coach, on his left, but Michael Hooper backs his players. Get a line out here, 7 metres out.
Starts with Brandon Paenga-Amosa. And it's good out of his hands as well. Swain brings it down. France fall to their knees there with Jalonge. Bodies everywhere. Paenga-Amosa patient at the back. Now Naisarani and Salakaia-loto get in and rumble it on. There's a penalty advantage. France collapsing. Paisami looking for that grubber. It was on. He just couldn't weave it through the line.
Well, we've seen that delicate little left boot of Hunter Paisami. He just didn't have enough time. That defence was up very, very quickly, but we've seen it used to good effect throughout Super Rugby.
James Horwell on the sideline with me. What did you see in that maul from the Wallabies?
Yeah, it was a great setup from the Wallabies. You can see there's a lot of French players past the ball. They had an opportunity to really accelerate their feet. They would have got a bit further forward, but in the end, the French had to give away the penalty and get the turnover. So interesting to see what they do here. It looks like they're going again, going for a scrum rather than the line out.
A lot of chat from the youngsters. Tate McDermott, 22 years of age. Noah Lolesio, 21. The 9-10 combination. Standing up in these big moments for the Wallabies.
Talked mostly about the Wallabies, of course, Tim, but a few debutants as well for the French team, and a couple more have come on. Béconnier has come back on permanently, and also Julien Ikitau from Toulon has taken his place on the left wing and replacing Teddy Toomua. So a big moment for these new French internationals as well. I'm sure they've had a great tour. They may not have been able to get to iconic places like Bondi Beach on this tour, but probably puzzled over the local cuisine like French tourists before them. Looking at things like Vegemite and the likes.
Australia put their forwards to work. Now it sends across the park. Collapses. Naisarani wants it at the back. France all over it.
The penalty was here early.
Penalty for the home team.
Well, Brendan Paenga-Amosa, he definitely wants another scrum. He's ready to go. He's waiting for it. He's remonstrating with the referee straight away, and he's back there at 5, pushing straight through and to the left.
He went to his knee first. That's what it was for. You need to
Great for the Wallabies to be able to play off the back of these penalty advantages. Important that Naisarani is able to control the ball at the back as well. French have been brave this whole test series and need to continue to be.
Yeah, they've had a good tour. They've performed well on the field. You just wonder if there's a little bit of doubt might creep in now. They might have expected at this stage not to have the Wallabies down a man, still in the game, as they are, and certainly not 5 metres out from the goal line.
Sorry, Merch, I was going to say, what's the work from Taniela Tupou on this side of the scrum? Up against World Cup number 17. There's Taniela Tupou. He's working him over.
You see Jalonge, the captain, inviting Australia to come at them with this scrum. A little kiss over to Tupou and Valetini. Will they oblige? Nope, not that time. We're going to pack it again.
Guys, it's straight up. We cannot continue when the scrum goes straight up.
James Horwell, who's got ascendancy right now at the scrum?
It seems like Taniela's really working over their hooker. He's attacking the inside line and isolating the loose head, so he So it's basically 7 against 8. So what's happening there is Taniela and Paenga-Amosa are attacking the hooker and trying to isolate him. And you saw the last scrum where they got the penalty. He popped up early, Etrelard. So that's where you can see Taniela angling in there. He's just got to be careful. He doesn't angle in too much on a sharp angle and get pinged by the referee for boring in. So it's an interesting battle. But if you see the shot from the top, you'll see a nice angle targeting the hooker.
France go early. Maserani goes on. He goes away from the scrum and then squirts out the back. Paisami taking 2 with him. Bill carrying nicely. The crowd looking to lift Australia here. McDermott. We go to Valetini. Valetini beats the first up tackle. Valetini inches away. Hooper looking to steal it. Paenga-Amosa at the back. No one's there. BPA is though for Australia. He looks up and says, put one on the board for BPA.
Yes, Paenga-Amosa gets the plum set up by that man again, Michael Hooper. What a hand he played in this. Great work from Rob Valetini initially to get inches away from the line. Watch Hooper here. He was going to pick and go. Then he just took in 2 defenders, transferred the ball. He knew he had Brendan Paenga-Amosa behind him. Selfless work, teamwork, and there's the result.
It's tunnel ball from Hooper back to BPA. Now there's some interesting byplay off the back of this action. Anthony Geelong went straight to the referee to claim a knock-on, and Michael Hooper went to Noah Lolesio and made him rush to be set up for the conversion.
Yeah, boys, the Tupou, they wants to have a look at the knock-on in the first or second phase, I think it was. So they've already gone to the Tupou to have a look. Ben O'Keefe waiting.
We're trying to get the footage up now, Ben.
Ben O'Keefe heavily involved early on, sending Marika Koroibete from the field with a red card for foul play. Now in the thick of it again. What are we looking here, Mertz?
Are they looking at that transfer?
They're looking for a
from Naisarani?
No, they're looking for a knock-on when Hunter Paisami took it forward just before he went to ground there. And that's what they're looking for. The French defensive players on the right-hand side, straight away, there was 3 or 4 of them calling. Vincent was one as well, just the ball carry for Hunter Paisami.
The decision here also is, yes, the ball comes out, but is it ripped out by the French? Is it ripped out by Baptiste Pessanti? And is there a knock-on from Hunter Paisami on the way down, or is this play on? Maybe it's clutching with biased Wallaby eyes.
Ben, 12 has lost the ball, knocked it on.
Yeah, I think that's a fair call, unfortunately, for Australian fans. Paisami had all rights and all control of the ball. Yes, there was an arm that went and tried to rip it, but you can't say it was ripped out fully by that arm.
Yeah, it's a good shot from Baptiste Pessanti.
So when the TMO said that is within 2 phases, and that is why we've disallowed the try.
Number 19 came in and put a really good shot on Hunter Paisami. This is the first carry from Isi Naisarani. What's the shot here? Number 19 there, up and under, and that's what released the ball. Good call from Ben O'Keefe.
Well, the question being asked from Michael Hooper there was, had there been more than 2 phases since the potential knock-on? And he was told, no, there wasn't. Morgan Tirinui, there's been a lot going on tonight.
Yeah, there were more than 2 phases with the pick and goes, but to be fair, when the right decision's made, we'll cop it.
If you're liking this, you're going to love the Springboks v British and Irish Lions. That all kicks off next week, and the only place to see it, stan.com.au/sport. Get yourself teed up, and away you go for the next month.
We meet in the middle. Let's go. No games,
Wall-to-wall international rugby.
Not only that, great backlog of former Lions tours, the video camera people that went on tour with the Lions. Various names, various puns over the years, some better than others around Lions and Big Cats.
Tupou putting some weight on here, counted eventually. Kuyu had no one to pass to, and now he goes away on this near side. That's in a touch. Australia will have the line out, will they? No, they're saying it's caught an Australian hand. It'll be a French line-out throw. Did it go forward?
Can't buy a break at the moment. The Wallabies, yeah, almost certainly here. An Australian hand that knocked it. There it was there. Paisami in the tackle. Geez, had some bad luck in the last couple of minutes.
It certainly is part of everything. Sonny Bill Williams in the Stan Sport pre-show named him his Isuzu D-Max game changer, and he has been part of everything for the Wallabies. You think if they're to win, it will come from Hunter Paisami.
Sent back by Bikonyi. That one touched, that one onside. Hodge loses his feet just as the ball was coming towards him. Geelong gets him, that bumper in there as well. McDermott just taking a beat to Lolesio. Just gives it a Banks and says, do your best, Tommy. In the end, it works out okay. Bikonyi in there trying to rip and tear. Bell secures. And Australia will go field position. McDermott looking for the turf here. Tricky bounce for Bouvier. He's a big kick up the park down towards Lolesio. That's an ugly bounce for Noah. Geez, that's hop hard left, and Australia will have the line out, but they will face some pressure here from the French.
Just the time about when to know when to kick and not to kick. Tate McDermott, you're 50 metres out, little kick over the top. Tuesday night, Jake Gordon did too, turned the ball over.
Paenga-Amosa, Salakaia-loto for McDermott. It's scrappy. He dummies now, McDermott. Cheeky, clever and necessary from McDermott. Naisarani needs help now. Bell back with a clean out, but offside is the call against France.
Yeah, these French forwards are getting through their work, aren't they? I think it was Azago. There he is there. Made a couple of tackles. That was a crucial one on Tate McDermott, and he popped up again to make that very next tackle on a surging Naisarani. They really have worked hard, the French forwards. They've been good this tour. It's been a great exercise for them. Yes, they may have been without a couple of bigger names from the French final, but this strength and depth in the French rugby, in the French game, must have been a couple of anxious moments there for Tate McDermott, but he's run it out really well.
Oh, it's been a huge shift from this French forward pack collectively right through the 3 Test series. They just got bundles of talent in the top 14 in France. They play this kind of rugby week in, week out, 40 games a year in European competitions.
It's worth reminding viewers on Channel 9, we're getting their first taste of Test rugby, their first look at France, that we are looking at the equal favourites for the 2023 World Cup in France. Those men in blue. That's how highly they are rated. And they are all locked up for the moment. Valetini gets a chance to wind up. France just check him and then fan their defensive line. Fill it with a decent carry. McDermott, Bell tries to beat one. That's loose from Bell for Paenga-Amosa. Ducks under a couple. France over the top.
You're okay? 17 set roll.
Penalised, and there's your call from Ben O'Keefe. So Ben O'Keefe wise to some of the tactics that France have been imparting in the first 2 tests.
Yeah, well, we saw the stat come up just then on possession, 62-38 in favour of the Wallabies. It's been like that the whole test series. What France have done well is they've known when to commit players to the breakdown. They got away in the first 2 tests with, on so many of the breakdowns, just putting one player in who made a real nuisance of himself. And the Wallabies, as a consequence, had to overcommit players. Therefore, they didn't have as many tackers as they were facing in the defensive line. And they've continued it, their work around the breakdown tonight. The French work has continued. Australia has been more efficient as Tate McDermott comes off to the adulation of his local public. He's had a good game, a busy game.
Jake Gordon on for him. Started the first 2 test matches for the Wallabies in the 9 jersey, and a good ovation for Tate McDermott. Scored a try in that first half. And what a moment here for Noah Lolesio, 42 metres out in front.
Missed his last shot away to the left. His only blemish of the night. No breeze to contend with for Lolesio. Noah drills it. Australia go back in front. They're up by 3. We've got 7 to go.
One of the biggest roars of the night. 35,000 people plus here at Suncorp Stadium. What a moment for the 21-year-old. Still plenty of time left. 7 minutes left for the French to hit back.
Got to get the restart right here, Australia. No one can get a hand on. It's Vincent. There was confusion between Hodge and Philip. Bumba pushes away from Swain. Gets him with a second go. Just as it happened last week, Australia aren't able to get it right. Oh, Valetini goes high. Penalty advantage here now for France. Taken on by Beconnier. Lost Paenga-Amosa there. But you can almost bank it. It'll be 30-30 in just a moment.
Yeah, sloppy from Rob Valetini. Ball carrier going to ground, but that's no excuse. Part of the thing in modern rugby, of course, is trying to prevent the offload. If you're just getting around the legs, the danger's still there. If someone's half gone through the defensive line, it's for them to get that ball away. There's the end of it with Paenga-Amosa, who was about to turn the ball over. The head-high tackle came one phase earlier. Valetini scrambling to get across, and it's a bit of a sloppy, loose swinging arm. You'll see it here. There it is.
And that's Test rugby, isn't it, Mertz? The Wallabies have been brave. They've been courageous just to hang in there, but they need to be precise now. Get your targeting right at tackle. You talk about having to lock the ball up. That's the danger with these high tackle laws, is the ball's up there, not far off the shoulder height tackle law. So precision around targeting at tackle time. More important than ever in rugby union.
Jaminet could throw this over with his eyes closed. We're square again.
Just shows you how important the restarts are in Test match rugby. The Wallabies go up by 3. Lolesio puts it through. Maybe Ngatier, the coach of the French, but Wallabies couldn't take the restart. Arthur Vincent was great, wasn't he, James Horwell?
Yeah, an amazing take, and it's just so important, the restarts in the modern rugby. And we'll see here, Australia have been working the French over in the kickoffs.
Lolesio. It's a tricky one for Edito to pull in. He gets it and gets it away. Down to Banks. This will all be about field position late. Banks. Nice and deep. The chase is good as well from Lolesio. Gets it. Knocked on by France. Knocked on by France, and now they come through and kill it off. And we'll have an Australian scrum. It'll be 30 out, 15 in.
Good pressure here from Noah Lolesio. He's the one who called the high ball from Tom Banks. All important where the last few minutes of this game is played. Good option from Tom Banks to go to the air. That's what pressure can do. Wallabies very happy to get a scrum feed. The man in their number 18 Wallaby jersey centre screen. So much of this scrum will be on him. Jordan Uelese at hooker next to him gets his first opportunity to hooker next. That's a good scrum to finish the game.
There's the key man there, Morgs. Is this his scrum? Is this his three-pointer? We know how destructive he can be with ball in hand, but also in this facet of the game. Is this his moment to put Noah Lolesio back on the tee with a chance to win it?
Steady.
Gordon with the feed. They leave it at the base there. Valetini patient. There it is. Penalty advantage for Australia. Playing with house money now. Paisami away for Ikitau. Free swing time. Philip. Muscled by Kuyu. How about the strength on the scrum half? Swain goes in. Misses the clean out. Everyone settles it down, and we'll head over the churn turf. And you'd think that the kicking team will be coming back out.
Well, wouldn't they have loved another couple of phases, the Wallabies? They were in midfield, they were going forward. There was every likelihood that France would commit another offence as they were backpedaling, which might have led to an easier kick for Lolesio. He has kicked well tonight, just the one miss. But you take whatever you can get. There's the scrum, and there was plenty of attention on. Taniela Tupou managed to hold strong, and the rest of his mates around him, putting the pressure on.
How important is this kick for not just that man there, Dave Rennie and his assistant coaches, but for rugby in Australia. Noah Lolesio, the 21-year-old, 3 minutes left in the match. Hunter Paisami gets a standing ovation as he leaves the field. Matt Toomua comes on for him.
What's going through your mind, Andrew Mertens, in a moment like this? You've done it for the All Blacks. How do you get through it and get it where you want it to go?
Well, at the end of the day, everything else is just noise. You're just there with the ball. And I guess confidence is a big part of it, just going through your process. Not getting too eager, I think, is key, whether you're 7 years old or 25 years old kicking in front of 35,000 people. Not looking up too early. Go through with your kick, follow through with it. Don't pull out too early.
Can he execute? Noah Lolesio. This to reclaim the lead, to go up by 3 with 2. Noah! The crowd let you know it's good. And now to the restart. They fluffed their lines on Tuesday night. It's all about the take here. It's all about the call.
Matt Phillip on this side of the field. He's the man. They're going to go right.
Here it is, Australia for Bell. Bell now finds the turf. It's theirs to close out. Patience and execution late required. Uelese. The clock keeps rolling. A minute to go. Gordon told to find a man. Looking for Tupou. They bunch it up. It's a good carry as well from Tupou. France climb in with bodies of their own. Under 60 seconds now. Valetini. Met by Geelong. Australia can't. They can't close it out.
Let's play on the ball. France
with a chance. If they want it to look at the sticks. Ben O'Keefe nails Australia again.
Jaminier gets first choice. Has he got the distance? The 50-metre line's just behind them. That makes it about 55 or 56 on the angle, at least. Long way out.
They have to go for touch because they want to win the series. They can't draw the series, but the Wallabies hold it. So that's why they've gone for touch, and Jaminier hasn't taken a long-range kick for goal. Fabien Gartier, the coach of the French.
And Tim, they've always been good at the drop goal. A few phases into midfield. Any of them could probably have a go.
Etriard. Australia looking to get pressure on. Wolke with a take. They'll maul it towards the 22. It all comes down to this now for Australia. Good shove from France. Looking for a fresh penalty. Swain's in there. Darcy Swain. A hulking effort. He shuts it down. He shuts it down and secures the win. Michael Hooper asks Australia to believe before kickoff. You can now, Aussie fans. believe in the Wallabies.
That wasn't about rugby. That wasn't about tactics or technique. It was about heart. The heart's beating in that Wallaby team. Underneath that emblem, the Australian coat of arms. They wanted it just a little more than a brave, brilliant French team who've been so good over 11 days. Those men in blue jerseys have been amazing ambassadors for French rugby, amazing examples for the talent of French rugby. But it's the Wallabies that wanted it just that little bit more, and they've won the Test series.
Hoops, you lose a guy to a red card 5 minutes in, and you come out in front in the 80th minute. How proud are you of your team?
So proud. Hey, we love playing here, hey. The crowd got us home so much. We felt the energy from Suncorp, as we always do here, so thanks to everyone here in Queensland, you're awesome.
What about Noah Lolesio? 3 minutes left on the clock. He has a massive kick to win the game. 21, he steps up and he nails it.
Look, I'm not surprised. That guy's kicking rain, hail or shine long after everyone else is off the field. So, you know, he gets the rewards there today and does it for the team. It's huge.
Dave talks often about the finishers. Tonight, the front row reserves as well. They really got you home, didn't they?
Absolutely. I mean, 3 games in, however many days, and, they were so important there tonight. Look, it was a tough campaign, and we loved having the French out here. It made for a great series in the end, each game down to the wire. So, thanks for them for travelling around the world in this day and age. It made for a great competition.
Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you.